It happens in the worst possible room. You are standing in front of a boss or a partner or a parent. You aren't sad, you are furious. You have a list of valid, logical points you need to make. You know you are right. You have rehearsed this. You are ready to defend yourself. But just as you open your mouth to speak, your throat closes. It feels like a physical hand gripping your windpipe. You try to swallow it down, but the pressure moves up to your eyes. You blink rapidly, trying to clear your vision, trying to force the signal back down. But it's too late. And then the betrayal happens. The tears spill over. You see the other person's face change instantly. They stop listening to your argument and start looking at your wet face. It isn't just pity, it is a loss of respect. They see a child having a tantrum, not an adult making a point. They might even say, "Let's talk when you're less emotional," effectively dismissing your entire reality. You walk away not just angry, but discredited. You feel like your body just sabotaged your career or your relationship, deciding to surrender when you wanted to fight. You tell yourself you are broken. You tell yourself you are weak. But that is not what just happened. We are taught that this reaction is a character flaw. We are told that crying is fragile and staying stone-faced is professional. But if you could look inside your chest in that moment, you wouldn't see weakness. You would see a nervous system that has simply reached its absolute limit of intensity. Science calls this a vagal rebound. But let's be honest, in the moment, it doesn't feel like science. It feels like a collapse.
Here is the reality of your hardware. When you stand there, furious and ready to argue, your sympathetic nervous system is spiking. Your heart rate is climbing. You are burning energy at an unsustainable rate. Your body detects sustained high arousal and shifts the balance toward your parasympathetic nervous system. That shift can feel sudden. Your heart rate drops. Your breathing changes. The tears are not sadness. They are part of your body trying to bring the intensity down. The problem is the mismatch. You are furious, but you look like you need a hug. And that is the messy part. The person across from you sees the tears and assumes you are hurt. They assume you are sad. So they soften their voice. They stop arguing. They might even try to comfort you. And that is so much worse than the yelling. Because you didn't want their pity. You wanted their respect. This creates a brutal trade-off that nobody talks about. Research calls this the competence penalty. When people see tears, they don't necessarily dislike you. In fact, studies show they view you as warmer. They trust you more. They think you are a good person. But they also instantly stop viewing you as a leader. They stop treating you like a peer and start treating you like a patient. Their voice gets soft. They ask if you need a minute. They handle you with kid gloves. And that gentleness is the ultimate insult, because it proves they no longer see you as a threat or an equal. You have become something to be managed. So naturally, you fight it. You learn the tricks. You bite your cheek until it bleeds. You dig your fingernails into your palm. You stare at a specific spot on the ceiling to keep the water in. You hold your breath until your ribs ache. You prioritize your competence over your biology. But the cost of that suppression is massive. When you force your body to ignore its own request for relief, you don't just get over it, you internalize the pressure. You are forcing your system to stay in the high stress zone, even though it is begging to come down. That is why 20 minutes later, even if you won the argument, you feel physically drained. There is a heaviness behind your eyes, your head aches, your body feels depleted. You kept your dignity, but you paid for it with a physiological cost that takes time to recover from. You are technically winning, but your body is losing. And here's the worst part. Sometimes the tears don't even bring relief. Sometimes the sheer humiliation of crying when you are angry creates a new wave of stress. You feel the wetness on your cheek, and you feel instantly humiliated. You get angry at the tears. That anger spikes your heart rate again, which makes your body try to calm you down again with more tears. You are trapped in a loop. You are trying to shout, "I am furious,"
but your face is saying, I am broken. The more you try to explain that you are fine, the more your voice cracks, confirming their theory that you are falling apart. So what do you do? The truth is, you can learn to stop it. You can master the art of the stone face. You can win the competence game. You can force your body to remain professional, and you will be rewarded for it. People will call you strong. They will say you are good under pressure. But you need to be honest about the price. When you override a vagal rebound, you aren't deleting the stress. You are just storing it. You are choosing to look calm to the world while your stress remains elevated internally. You are trading your internal regulation for their comfort. And maybe that is a trade you have to make. Maybe in your job or with your specific family, you cannot afford to be seen as warm but incompetent. Sometimes you will have to pay the tax. But don't call it strength. Call it what it is, a very expensive act. So here is the question you have to answer. It isn't about how to stop crying. It is about what you are willing to lose. Is it better to be respected by everyone else and physically drained, or to be judged by them but actually regulated? Subscribe if you are tired of paying the tax.